right, guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about freeform settings, how we can adjust those settings, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I use freeform to attack cover zero blitzes here in Madden 24. With that being said, let's hop into this video, and first, let's talk about how to set and adjust your freeform settings. Now, even though you are able to change your passing settings throughout the various modes in the game, we are going to walk through this from our main menu just to make sure that it applies to everyone, whether they're playing regs, CFM, or MUT. So from our main menu screen here, what we want to do is we want to cycle over to the settings tab, which is shown with this wheel icon to the right of the screen. Now, once you get in there, the first tab is where you should be at, and it's going to be game options. You just want to make sure that's highlighted at the top of your screen. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and underneath coin toss, you're going to see passing mechanics. The first option here is our passing type. You're going to see that you have the option to do classic, placement, or placement and accuracy. If you want a brief explanation about which one does what, you can check the right side of the screen here, and it does give you a little bit of a breakdown of each. Now, in order to do freeform, you do need to be on placement or placement and accuracy. Okay, I personally do placement and accuracy just because it puts a little bit more of the responsibility of the accuracy on the throw to me and my timing rather than the actual ratings of the quarterback I'm using. Now, from there, passing slowdown is irrelevant if you're playing online. This is just something that you can use against the computer. And then the next two are very important. These are your freeform reticle max distance and the freeform reticle speed. Okay, now I use FAR and I use 9 out of 20. This is something that we get a lot of questions about, and what I want to say is you don't always want to use the same thing that someone else is using. You want to get comfortable with you making the throws in game that you're trying to make with freeform. Okay, this is what makes me comfortable to make these throws, but this may not work best for you. And one other thing that you'll notice is as your quarterbacks change and you use different releases throughout the game, and if you start to use set feet lead or pass lead elite, it's going to change the timing of all of this, so you may have to tweak this throughout the year, and just make sure that you do go into practice mode and really perfect what settings you want to use personally. You can definitely start out with FAR and 9 out of 20, but you do want to perfect this yourself as well. And then the last two are just preferences. If you want to see something pop up on your screen, you can turn these off to make sure nothing else pops up on the screen when you are making these throws. I just like it for the little bit of feedback. But again, these are the settings that I'm using. So let's hop into practice mode real quick and really show how we can utilize these settings and utilize freeform to make a really unique throw against cover zero blitzes. Here in practice mode, we're going to show just how effective this mechanic can be, but before we do, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to make sure you never miss any of our uploads moving forward. We really do appreciate your support. With that being said, let's hop into how great this can be. Now, we're going to come out in any formation that has a slot receiver on the field, really. My favorite formation to do this out of is spread halfback weak, and I'm in the spread playbook. Okay, now the reason I like this is it has this play hitch seam, which is pretty much set up exactly how we want it to start. Okay, now what we will do here in this video is we're going to go against Mike Blitz 0, but this freeform back shoulder throw is going to work against any cover zero in the game, and we're going to talk about off coverage and press. So first, off coverage, and no matter what type of coverage you're facing, you need to make sure you pick up the blitz first, right? And we're going to utilize this check and release to do so, and also manipulate one of the defenders in man coverage also. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure our running back's on a check and release. We're going to slide the line away from him and ID the edge rusher away from him, and what you see is that puts the C icon on the edge rusher to the running back side. This is telling us who the running back is going to block if he blitzes, and he's going to block him for a second or two and then release out into his route. Okay, but it's going to give us just enough time to allow our routes to get down the field, and we're trying to isolate these slot receivers. Okay, so I'm going to be throwing this to the left slot receiver here, and what you're going to see is as soon as the slot cornerback turns his hips, that's when we want to throw this, and then we can swerve back to the ball and we can go catch this. Okay, so what you'll see if we go to the replay real quick, you're going to see as soon as the slot corner turns his hips and starts running right there, we can throw it at any point now. Okay, you can't throw it when he's like this. You have to wait for him to turn his hips and start running downfield. And you can see at this point, we've already thrown the ball. Again, about right when he's turning those hips, we start to throw this. and you can see now we're able to click on to this receiver, come back to the ball, and we want to aggressive catch this, and you can see we have a good 4 yards of separation here to make this throw. And what I do want to point to here is why we use the check and release, and it's to keep this safety down. Okay, if we block the running back, this safety is going to go back into a deep middle third because he's just looking for help at that point. With the check and release, he's still in man coverage, so he just squats here in the middle of the field, which opens up both of these slots, and we can throw it to either one. Okay, so one more time, what we're going to do is when we're free-forming, we're pushing the left trigger, and we're going to hold the left stick down and away from the defender. Now, when we do that, we don't want to slam it down and away from the defender. Okay, we want to be really precise with this. But what you'll see is if we do this again, we have the ability to do this time and time again and come and catch this ball and get some big yards down the field. Now, what do we do if they press? Okay, and that's something that may happen. So if they press, we're going to have to do this a little bit differently. Okay, and it's not going to be as open, but we're going to throw kind of like a slot fade over the shoulder here. Okay, so again, same thing. We still need to pick this blitz up, right? So check and release, block away from, slide away from, and you're going to get the Mike on the right and the C on the running back side. And now what I like to do is if my slot receiver is not on the line already, I like to motion him left to get him down to the line. Okay, from there, instead of the streak, I want to put him on a fade. The reason I want to put him on a fade is I want to get him the outside release to start the route. Okay, from here, if they're pressing, we're actually going to freeform up and away from the defender. Okay, on the back shoulder one, we threw down and away from the defender. This time we're going to hold left trigger and do up and away from the defender and just lob it over the top. So what you're going to see here is as soon as we see that, we can lob this up over the top, and you can see that we're able to put that where the defender's not able to catch it. Okay, so if they press, again, one more time, I'll show you. And again, it's very important to have this running back on a check and release to make sure that we do get that safety out of the middle of the field. Again, we do want to motion the slot receiver to the line if he's not there already, put him on a fade instead of a streak. And then from here, what you'll see is as soon as we see the press, we're able to throw this up and over the shoulder where that DB is not able to make a play on that ball. And you're going to be able to really frustrate your opponents and get them out of these cover zero style blitzes very, very quickly.